at that. Why did you put me down here? Hello. It's probably because I didn't reset it from last night's show. How are you doing today, folks? Welcome on, welcome all. It is the Makers and Movers podcast. Today, what are we talking today? I don't even know what we're talking today. Oh, yeah, we're talking about, keeping things going, right? Emotional support coffee. It is, December is a month where, your coffee colder can go cold faster than you can drink it. Yeah. Your inbox is filled with hundreds of just checking in messages, even though you've given them dates and said this is what's going to happen and the date isn't here yet. They're checking in 50 times before that, and your equipment starts making noise that it usually doesn't, which freaks you out. It is definitely a special kind of chaos this month. The kind that requires, regular caffeine, deep breaths, and I think most importantly, the ability just to take a deep breath and laugh at all the madness before it eats you alive. Because this is a season where makers really are juggling more than just orders, juggling emotions, expectations, deadlines, family, and whatever left is your sanity. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That was first time here, long time here. Make sure to go like, subscribe, share. Uh, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is like in your area, and then your 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? It is drizzly and cold and garbage outside. Like it's still on because they're like, no, it's not time to be up because it's just that dark out there with the garbage. So we're in for some cold apparently. Not down with that. What are we drinking? I'm trying this Sport Vibe Celsius sparkling snowball frost. Almost like I'm not 100% sure on it. So then 5 things. We've got a busy day. Back orders, that's given. Meetings seem to be a given every day now. We've got HTV that needs to be cut for transfers. That's going right now, and then we're finishing up a few stores. So busy day for here. So I'd love to hear what you have rocking and rolling. So let's look over here and see what we got. Beth, good morning, Northern Nebraska, where it's 27 degrees and windy. Water on the cup. It was windy here. Rustling, good morning. Windy, cold, western, windy, central Indiana. So you're getting what we got. It blew through last night, and so it's not as windy, but last night it was. I don't think I called it night until after like 1. The alarm goes off at 5, but it was a little windy out there. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 15, lightly snowing, water in the cup, 5 things. DTF, cut twill, clean oil embroidery machines, embroidered beanies, embroidered blankets. Barb's got a good day in front of her. Linda's rubbing it in because it's sunny there in Texas, on the way to 51, on the way to 71. Tea in the cup, 5 things. Doctor, edit photos, post photos online, 3D print, prep for career day tomorrow. Very, very nice. George, good morning to you, my friend. Alex, good morning. Hey, Todd, do we ever figure out that South Florida store thing yet? I'm ready. South Florida store. There's not going to be a South Florida store. I can't even get a Midwest store ready to roll. Every day seems to be a new logistical nightmare of trying to get something open where people think their stuff is worth gold. It is wild. Good grief. I was wrong. I was wrong again. Wrong setting. Landscape is much better. It is. And that's why I try to stay like when I'm doing these right here. So if you are in portrait, you just see this part of me because I think if I'm from right here, as long as I pretty much if I'm right there, oh, and the sign fell. I just noticed that. If I'm right there, then we're good on portrait mode. So yeah, let's see how that works. Keith, good morning to you in the Space Coast. Blueberry coffee in the cup. That sounds interesting. Tim, good morning to you. Hi, Beth, Alec, Linda, and Alex from Barb. Cindy, what's with this rain, right? It's 33 out, and I'm on energy drink number 2.
To get snow squalls.
There it is, Cindy. I'm right there with you. Corey said we're about to get snow squalls. Awesome, right? 5 things. Mail run, Amazon supply order, stitch towels, assemble new display, print earring cards. Very, very nice there. And hi, Tim from Barb. And Sandy, good morning. My cup is empty. Need to refill it with coffee. Refill it. Cold and rainy here. 5 things: sewing and order, shipping, finalize promo order, writing newsletter, baking. Ooh, I love the Christmas baking. I think it's my favorite time of year because like I enjoy eating. I enjoy sweets. I enjoy it. That's about the only time that it is, from Thanksgiving through Christmas. I like the cookies, I like all that. It's the fun part of it. It's not the rest of the year we're in there, but I cannot wait for that to start. And hi, Sydney there from Barb. So as we get in this, let's look at this. Let's dive into these things. When we're dealing with all this stuff, one thing we have to consider is that humor and grace are tools. They're not luxuries. When you really do learn to laugh at all these wild moments that are going on and give yourself permission to really just step back, that weight of December, it just feels different. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to survive this month without losing your spark, right? You know, uh, as we were talking with people on how this one goes, one of our friends said that they started naming their coffee mugs, just to keep yourself entertained. She had them there. There was that one there. Some others said, that they come in and they talk nice to their equipment and they have it names and they say, we're going to have a good day. So it keeps them entertained. He said it's like having that coworker because they are working, right? Am I the only one that has named my machine? If you've named a machine, let me know the name of the machine and what it is down in the comments. So that way we can see what that is. You just got to do whatever works for you, right? We're going to talk about coping with the chaos today in a way that keeps you really grounded and keeps your spirits intact. This is kind of your permission slip to handle December with compassion for yourself, patience for your customer, and most importantly, humor whenever possible. So, what do you say? Let's dig in how to stay sane, how to stay caffeinated, and really how to stay connected to the joy that is behind all this madness. All right. So, number one is we have to accept that December is a completely different animal. All right. Why? Because December doesn't care. December doesn't follow rules. Customers are more emotional. Turnaround times get tighter. And everyone is trying to cram 6 weeks of expectation into 3 weeks of time frame, right? Instead of fighting the chaos, we just need to, acknowledge it because that's going to make it easier to navigate. When you stop expecting December to feel normal, the pressure drops and your humor level can really rise with it. Accepting that seasonal chaos, it doesn't make you weaker. It just makes you more strategic. December isn't the time for rigid perfectionism. Yeah, that's a word, right? Perfectionism. It's a time to adapt, to breathe, to laugh, and most importantly, to survive with your dignity. The more that you lean into the reality of the month, the smoother everything's going to feel. So some examples of this is a decorator finally admitted that she couldn't run December like any other month before. So she simplified her offerings and her stress level dropped instantly. You have 800 things in your website. How about we just don't worry about 100 of those things? All right. We got a lot going on. Let's make it as smooth as possible. Another maker decided that their goal wasn't perfect systems, but controlled chaos. And she really did end up enjoying the season way more because she wasn't fighting reality. So, action step for this is we just need to write down one expectation that you're letting go of this month in one grace that you are giving yourself in return. All right. Now, number two, cut it out. Yeah. Uh, this is mine. Let's use humor as a survival tool. All right. December December is going to hand you moments so absurd that you are either going to laugh or cry laughing, right? Laughing is usually the better option though. Humor is not going to erase the stress, but it does release enough tension to really help you keep going. Excuse me. When customers send those frantic last minute messages, or you catch yourself, talking to your heat press, anybody else do that? Humor really makes those moments lighter and less, personal. Choosing to find comedy in the madness, that does not make you unprofessional. What does make you human? And customers feel that humanity. When you respond with kindness and a smile, even internally, the day really does get easier. So some examples of this is a make. This one was a cool one. A maker kept a December nonsense bingo card on our wall, and would make squares like "Where's my order?" and "Can you do it by Friday?" And it became her favorite stress release. Another one started sharing funny maker memes, on her page, and found that customers really became more patient because they saw the humor and personality in it. So, action step for this is we just need to create one small private December humor ritual, a meme folder, a joke board, a bingo card, and just use it whenever the stress hits. All right. Now, number three, let's protect your energy from emotional messages. Emotional messages. We've got a lot of these, and man, some of them you would think that the thing that they're making is going to solve world hunger, world peace, and probably intergalactic space travel because of how important it is. You know, December customers really do mean well, but let's face it, they're stressed, they're emotional, they're forgetful, and sometimes they are unintentionally demanding. You're going to get messages that are just dripping with panic and urgency or guilt, all before you've even finished your emotional support caffeine, right? The trick is separating their stress from your stress because you can be compassionate without absorbing their emotions. Now, protecting your energy, that doesn't mean that you have to be cold. It just means responding with boundaries and warmth and doing that at the same time. When you stay grounded, you communicate better, you make fewer mistakes, and you avoid burnout. Your emotional clarity, that really is your business asset, especially right now. So, excuse me, some examples of this is sublimation artists created a set of canned responses like, hey, here's what I can do for you today. And boom, that was it. And it reduced the emotional overwhelm dramatically. Another baker, they started checking their messages only twice a day, and her anxiety, dropped almost instantly. I usually check emails in the morning, and then I check them in the evening because I can't be tied to it all day long. And the action step for this is going to be really simple. Let's just write one gentle, clear message template that you're going to use when customers send that emotional or urgent December messages. All right. So before we get back into 4 and 5, let's check in and see where we are with people. And let's see. Good morning. Up there. Keith email and they check your spam folder and see if it's there because everything should. I know we talked last night. Everything went out and some said, "Yep, we got our codes." It was in spam. Others said, "Nope, it came through just fine." So check that, and then we'll get it there for you. Right, George? We had a good conversation yesterday about that. Jerry's updating your computer. Good to know. Trying to decide a name for the. Ooh, Sandy, what did you get? What UV printer did you get? Taking suggestions. I need to know the kind. I need to know the color. I need to know the space it takes, and I know what its primary purpose is going to be. Then we can figure it out. Lexi, good morning to you. Jerry says humor is a secret and grace for all of us. I 100% agree that. And Obi-Wan is my main embroidery machine. Vader is the 3D printer. Janet is my temperamental printer. I yell at her a lot. Yeah. And Renee's checking in. Better late than never. Morning from snowy Chicagoland. Water in the bottle, tea in the mug. Hi, Linda, Barb, Tim, Beth, Alex, and George. Hi, Renee from Barb. Great idea. December is different in animal. It is 100%. Alex said, I used to have a half broken down brother embroidery machine named Lucifer. Please, Lucifer, if you just run this job, I'll promise to give you the next 10 minutes of my soul, right? And Renee, team meetings all day when I'm talking to myself. That's right. How would you use the bingo card? Yeah, well, there, everything else right there. And when you create a bingo, you get a treat, right? You have all the things that you know that you're going to encounter in the month. You put it on there. And when one of this happens, check it off, mark the box, do what you need to do, and then you get a treat, right? What kind of treat do you want, Jerry? And then Rustling says, "Good morning, Jerry." Yeah. Alex says, "I learned I'm like a duck. Just let it roll off your back. Love it, love it, love it." Morning, Rustling from Jerry. I love these tips. Thank you. You're very welcome, Megan. I forgot to ask last night, is the glitter uh, DTF available? Yes, if you go over to fatdadprintco.com, glitter is there. Glitter is over on Fat Dad Print Co. And there's a, it's hard to see on the back side of it, but there, you can see the glitter in there with it. So yes, it is available. You can go do and put it on there. And if you do the gang sheet builder and check in the Christmas, that's on there. The cows are on there. The other things that we showed off there. My DTF printer is grumpy. Yes, they are. Logo Jet. It's a beast. What made you go with that one? Makes my laser look like a baby. It is, because that one is, what is that? Is that 36 by 48? Is that what the Logo Jet one is? I think, and it depends on the model that you go with it. You're very welcome, Jerry. Let's see. No, not with off. The the puff stuff is kind of, but it took me long enough to finally succumb to glitter because I'm not. I don't think. I don't think DTF glitter holds a candle to HTV glitter. It's just bar none best, and it does well, but comparative to that, it's a little there. And Alex, my boss would always say that. Very nice. See, all right. Now, let's get back into it. Number 4 is let's build those micro moments of calm. All right, let's just build that right in the day. You know, December December doesn't always allow for full breaks, but it absolutely does allow for those micro breaks, and those can really save you. A little 90-second reset that can prevent a 6-hour meltdown. Standing up, stretching, drinking water, yawning. Holy moly. Even walking outside, for just that that one deep breath, that can really reset your entire nervous system. And your brain really does need these pauses to stay accurate, to stay creative. Most importantly, to stay calm. Now, micro moments, those prevent burnouts in ways that most of us really do underestimate. You don't need a spa day. What you need is 5 little tiny pauses building your workflow. It's not dramatic. It's not a luxury. It's maintenance for you. So some examples of this is one creator, they set a timer every hour, goes off, stretch, reset, take that 5 minutes, come back. She noticed that her mistakes, doubled when she started skipping breaks to work through them. Another one, they keep a mini diffuser right by her press. Takes 30 seconds to breathe whenever she starts to feel stress rising, right? Just like cookies. I can just get some cookies that smell all the time. Cookies make me cookies. So, action step for this is let's just build one. We're just gonna build one micro break into your workflow today. You know, set a timer, or tie it to a task. Every time you finish pressing a batch, I'm gonna take a break. Every time you finish something, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. Just build it in there. All right. And then lastly, number 5. What are we gonna do? We are gonna lean into coffee, lean into kindness, and lean into our community. Because you can survive December alone, absolutely. But you are going to survive it better with support. Now, whether, it's your partner bringing you a refill, your community friends here, cheering you on, or a customer sending you a thank you message that just seems to come at the perfect time. Connection strengthens you. Community reminds you that the chaos, it isn't personal, and you are not the only one who is reheating coffee 17 times a day, right? When you lean into connection, you also, bring more grace into your business. You handle stress better, communication flows easier, and you feel the joy behind what you make. December really starts to feel less like a battle and more like a shared experience when you're not doing it alone. So some examples is a maker posted, "How's everyone doing today?" Check in her craft group, right? And she said the replies really gave her the motivation she needed to finish those orders. Another creator made an emotional support coffee joke. She posted it, and her customers responded with so much love that it carried her through the week. So today, for this action step, it's all we need to do. I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it right now. I'm going to do it in our mentorship community, and I'll post it on there. This is what I need you to do, is just to reach out to one of your maker friends and just check in. Even if it's just a 30-second message, you know what? That can really refill your emotional tank. So I ask you, how are you guys doing today? What is going on with you? How are you doing? That's what we want to know. All right. So to recap all this, here's how we can survive December with humor and grace. We're going to accept that the month is chaos, and we're going to stop expecting perfection. We're going to use humor as a pressure release valve when things get ridiculous. We're going to protect our emotional energy from customer stress. We're going to build tiny moments of calm into our workflows. And we're going to lean into that coffee, kindness, and community instead of going at it alone. Now, you are doing way more than just making products. You really are carrying the emotional weight of the holiday season. So make sure to take the time. Give yourself permission to laugh, to breathe. And remember this, you are doing way, way, way better than what you think you are. Now, that's what we got for you today on this December 10th, Wednesday edition of the Make Us and Move Us podcast. I'm looking up here to see what the next thing is. What do we have next? Going into the next one, what do we have going on here? Because the next one will be Friday, right? Friday. Yeah, that's what we got here. Friday. We're talking cookies and cutoffs and customer chaos. It's middle of December. We'll be December 12th. It's right there to Christmas. So, you're juggling a lot, baking deadlines, those last minute rushes, and that's the things that we're going to talk about there. So that is going to be this Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we do each and every week. Questions, comments, concerns. Let me know in the comments what you have in there for it. Like I said, me and my partner had mall stores. We would build a dance breaks on the hour. We were nuts, dancing with each other, two straight males, and the dancing with the customers. I don't see any problem with that. I don't see any problems with that. It is definitely something that we got. Yeah, All Stars today and Hall of Fame. Yep, yeah. Pilar has it scheduled up. Not 100% sure on the time. 10 and 11, 11 and 12. Pretty sure she's got all that. I know it's scheduled up because I seen it. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but yes, we have those going on there. So in those, because Pilar was setting up, we're working on setting up new groups for like the email blasts and things like that, and that's why I know things went out yesterday because I seen it come through. So we'll double check, but I almost everything's went out. So make sure to check your spam things with it. All right, Jerry, welcome. With that, we're going to wrap up here. We've got our mentorship call here in 33 minutes. Community still beating build out. Probably next month is when it was like wizard, wizard, wizard. That's what we're going for this month, where you have 21 days left to sign up this month for $29.99 and get $29.99 in credits. So it is a net zero. So make sure to go check out the rhinestoneworld.com for that. All right. Nobody has anything else. We're going to get out of here because you got a busy day. We got a busy day. Everybody's got a busy day. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, press on, and we will see you then.